Yeah, hello again. I'm Brother Bob. I've been considering, as always, making a different video, uh, and this is an interesting particular video. And I am, as you can tell, off in a cemetery graveyard. Uh, I can still see some of the traffic coming through, so I want to be respectful. Anybody who wants to show up, seek peace and quiet every time I try to do videos and not have anyone else involved or interfere or bother them. So anyway, I'm not going to take very long, but I did upgrade it to 4K, as I always plan to do if I come out to some place that's very special. I consider cemetery very special. This is an interesting one. Where I'm at, I've seen it in passing and I chose to stop here. I really don't know of any family I have here at this one. It is rather big and rather nice, but I do need to say that I wanted and have had the thought to definitely do a video in a cemetery. Now while that might seem a little strange, it's not so much to me as I've thought about it. It's something to be said. These videos are based on kind of Christianity, and what are you going to do when you die and what your future plans are, because they say there is a future. So I tried my videos to kind of go that direction. So also, I can spend a couple minutes. I'm watching some of these cars come by, sometimes a little slow, and I'm wondering if they're just going to come in and stop. So I want to make sure I get this video out basically before interrupting anything. Cemeteries are always kind of busy sometimes, and it's just the way of life. They're going to have your moment. Everybody has their moment, they say, unless the Lord comes again. And I was in a discussion with that about everybody says these are the final days. Well, we're pretty close, I'm guessing, but I said Noah, he got down to his his family, and that was it. The rest of the world was destroyed. So I think we're going to go a long way to a lot worse of what the Bible describes that the people were putting up with and dealing with. Now, there's a lot of good in this world still. So I think God's going to let it go a little longer. I don't know. Jesus even said he didn't know. Only his Father knew. And I'm not sure his Father has even decided yet. I think it's based on when he sees the world as time. So one thing to mention, or a couple things to mention on doing these videos, as they will tell you, the spirit goes on into heaven if you're saved. If not, you're going to go down and, as they say, burn, but also you're just going to go down. Some people believe it's a place of darkness and nothing, that you just no longer will be alive. A lot of people believe a lot of things. As I say, I'm Christian and Baptist, so we do believe that you will go. Oh, my phone's shifting. Oh, so I got it kind of propped up on a tree. This makes me nervous. So, all right. So maybe, hopefully, I can finish this out real quick before my phone falls off this tree. It's a nice day out here. It's fall and everything. As I say, I chose a cemetery to kind of talk on a few things about death. Also put it in 4K to have respect for everybody out here that I visit. Even though this is not, their spirits in heaven, their bodies and their resting places here, and it's a place to be definitely respected because their bodies shall. There's talk of resurrection, that you will be reunited with your body, and God knows where it is. Anyway, as always, we try to mention the scripture, but I am limited on that. My tablet's not charged, and I had the opportunity today to stop off for a few minutes at this place. So once again, I'm not going to be able to spend very much time or read on very many scriptures as I'd like to, or sometimes doing some of my videos. But I'm going to say a couple things. You'll notice if you go to a cemetery, and I'm sure everybody's pretty much familiar with cemetery, so this goes concept. If you go out there and you'll see a name on the tombstone. You'll see the date they were born, and then there's a dash, and then there's a little bitty dash, and then there's a big number the day they died. Now, some people have family, and they've, especially husband and wives, they've made a place for the future for the tombstone. And one person's dead, and you'll have a birth, and you'll have the other person is not dead yet. So you'll have a blank space there in the name. They're going to tell you the most important thing, and this is amazing to remember, is it's called the dash. You know, the day you were born is a great day, and you will celebrate with many birthday parties. And some people will go well into their life and always celebrate a birthday party. Some of the major parties was always said, you know, after you become about 11 years old, that's the last of the great parties. But it's not entirely true, but there's a lot of truth in that. I guess as a child you might celebrate, and it might be a bigger deal for a birthday. But anyway, this little dash is what matters. I mean, there's only this much space between the two. You know, this Bible says whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. And I cannot quote you that scripture, but you can go do a Google search and find it. And basically what it's saying is it's even bound to you on earth if you keep too much in your heart and too much in your soul and really worry about somebody else. And I don't know what I'm going to necessarily title this message. Probably the graveyard, the dash is what I'd really like to title it, I guess. I'll title it the dash. Let's remember what we're doing in this dash. You know, that dash, we'll never understand how each day somebody did something. There's a story that's in that dash, but you know, you've got to tell that story. You know, when many families tell stories, your grandfather, your grandmother, your aunt, your sister, your mother, you know, when she was here, she did this and she did this. And you know, we need to respect the people and, you know, tell somebody about their family. And now the question is, do I tell them about the bad things? Well, maybe not. Maybe not. You know, well as I do, telling people certain things will never do anyone any good. But don't make somebody out to be something they're not. If they're a bad person, you use that to teach them. Say, look, this is what your mom did. This is why, or this is what your father did. And this is, you know, this is the consequence of his life from doing that. We're trying to build better lives, better futures. So this is why that dash is important. Because when that number ends, there's a big number, usually the same size as the little number at the beginning. There's a big number at the end, but somebody's big number at the end is going to be their little, not little, but their same size number at the beginning, and their little dash actually. Everybody's got the little dash. The dash is pretty much the same size. The numbers are similar in size too, of whatever they chose, but the numbers are big. But the most important part is that dash. But you have your birth, which is important, your death, which is over. And so, you know, but with somebody's big number of death, like whatever number you want, say this year, 2022, somebody's got their number 2022. Somebody's born in 2022. They probably born on the same day. I think, I forget what the statistics are, but somebody's born every so many minutes, I guess, to an hour. I think we have a birth rate. So, you know, for every number that comes up on the death, we have a number that comes up on the life. So we are in our dash, though, and that second number, as I spoke of earlier, is not there yet. So we need to help the people who have their first number to have a good dash through there. We can do better. We can, you know, we're talking about industries and stuff like that. We haven't left much for the kids. I don't know what we're going to do, because money and everything else dictates what we do. And when we can go to China and other places, manufacturers, and get the stuff cheaper, that's all we care about, is something that functions and cheap. So it's difficult for us to figure what we can do. We come up with all kinds of ideas, but we've got to somehow start making our own things again. But we've got to give somebody more than the. They say there's a lot of positions to be filled, and this is true. Working fast food will always exist, but we've got to give somebody who's young the fast food, the stuff, but we've got to move forward and start getting some things for the future, some better things. Some technology is great, but we need to have people who are working on this technology doing things that's for the better. Medical, um, there's a deal right now, they're working on the cancer treatments where, now of course you can go through your dietary supplements, and that's some interesting stuff right there. I think I've spoke on dietary supplements and vitamins stuff in some other videos, but if I haven't, the more I research, God's provided in this world so much of what we need. We as humans have got to extract it, and we've worked hard. Many people have learned to extract the proper vitamins and the proper things out of the things of the earth. And there's some very, very useful stuff there and very important stuff there. But we need people to research. We need people to do better at refining it. When we get people who are doing that, people working in the health. But anyway, that's why I refer to that, because we can refine this down and do pretty good as a true cancer treatment. It's possible. But there needs research and figure out, okay, why is this helping the cancer patient, and why is this other stuff not helping the cancer patient? But as I was also saying, you can go deeper research of how cancer is and what cancer does. Cancer is one of the biggest problems in society. So we've got to work on figuring out what we can do. And they're working on some stuff about teaching the immune system to attack the cancer cells and to identify them by changing the way the cancer cells look, basically putting up some little flare. Hey, there's the cancer right there. Here it is. This is a bad person. So we need researchers. We need people, but we've got to encourage our kids. We've got to also start teaching the kids more and letting them have the ability to move forward. I think if we teach the kids a few things and we can get the education system a little better, maybe they can move forward. Oh, that phone's about to go. So maybe that's the countdown saying I need to finish this out. Anyway, I reached, I think, my 12 minutes. It's more than 10 minutes anyway on high resolution. Boy, that makes you nervous, don't it? Because it's hanging up on a tree. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. But today's message is to encourage your kids, be that Daesh, be the best you can. Help future humanities, whose number becomes at the beginning when our number comes to the end. Thank you and good day.